Hi there, everyone, and welcome back. So today we should all be on page 19, which is lesson 2B-3. And today we are going to start with writing the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. Remember, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Write it down. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is writing the equation of a line in slope-intercept form. You're going to want your calculator handy. All right, so let's talk about slope, right? Slope is our variable m. Okay, our slope is our variable m, and our y-intercept is always that point 0, comma b, where we always write our equation as y equals mx plus b. That is slope-intercept form of a line. So if we just take a look at this first example, we have given the slope and the y-intercept. Write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So we're writing it in this form. Okay, well, I know m is equal to 3 and b is equal to -4. So we just got to fill in for the formula. Y equals 3x minus 4. That's my equation. That's it. If I look at example B here, again, here's the slope, here's the y-intercept. We're just substituting these things in. So I have y equals -1/2 x plus 0. I don't really need to write this plus 0 because plus 0 is just plus nothing. So that's my equation, right? That means the graph is beginning at the origin. Okay, and you're probably looking at something like that, right? We got that negative slope. Okay, let's take a look at another example. So for example 2, write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. Okay, again, slope-intercept form, you will see me just keep writing it down, is y equals mx plus b form. So now I give you the slope. So I give you the slope, and I give you a point that's on the line. So I give you a slope, and I tell you the point that's on the line, right? We've got that 0.25. Well, okay. What do we do? What do we do? I don't know. Give up? No. Well, let's think about it. We have the equation y equals mx plus b, right? And we know m. So let's plug it in. We know m, we know the slope. So I have y equals 3x plus b. I want to find what b is, right? I want to find b. Well, guys, I give you a point that's on the line, right? That's x, and 5 is y. So can I plug those things in, right? I know x is 2 and y is 5. It's given to me here. So I'm going to plug this in. I have y to be 5, and I have x to be 2. So let's plug these things in. I'll have 5 equals 3 times 2 plus b, right? We're trying to find b. We want to know what b is. We want to get the y-intercept so we can write this in y equals mx plus b form. All I have right now is y equals 3x plus whatever b is, right? We're trying to find what b is. Okay, that's b. Okay, well, this is now just regular algebra. We have 3 times 2 is 6, and we're trying to get b by itself. So we're going to subtract the 6 on both sides, because remember, there's a positive 6 here. So to subtract the 6 on both sides, and I have b equals -1. So I have my equation of the line. Y equals 3x minus 1. Because look, there's b. It's -1. So we can replace this with a -1. Okay, so again, we use our slope-intercept form of the line, and then we plug the point in for x and y. So let's do another one like this together. Okay, let's do another one like this together. Okay, so let's look at example B. Again, we want to write it in y equals mx plus b form. And I have the slope, so I have m is -1, and I've got a point on the line where x is 3 and y is 2. Right? I'm just writing out the information I know. If I write my equation, y equals mx plus b, well, here's m, here's x, and here's y. Can I plug all these things in and solve for b? Of course we can. So let's substitute. We have 2, right, because that's what y is, equals our slope of -1, parentheses, I should really be putting these in parentheses, times 3 plus b. We're going to find b. Okay, I'm just going to simplify, right? And we want to undo subtraction, so let's add 3 to both sides, and we'll get b to equal 5. So there's my y-intercept, right? We're writing the equation of the line of y equals mx plus b. I have the slope, and we just found the y-intercept. So we have everything. I'm just going to write my equation is y equals -1x plus 5. Now, you wouldn't see this -1 written there. Okay, I'm only writing that just to provide some solace, okay? But it would just be written as y equals -x plus 5. That's my equation of the line. All right, so I would pause the video here. See if you guys can try letter C. So pause the video here. So what that the slope is a fraction? So what? Doesn't matter. Okay, I still give you a point on the line. And see if you can use that information with y equals mx plus b. Label all of your pieces, guys. All right, so pause the video here and see if you get the same answer as me. Okay, so hopefully you have all of these things substituted in. You can see I color-coded everything. And we're just going to simplify now. So I have 9 equals, calculator, guys, -1/3 times -18 is +6, plus b. We want to get b by itself, so I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides, and we get b to be 3. So my equation of the line uses m and b. So here's m. We just found b. So my equation of the line is y equals -1/3 x plus 3. And that's it. Alrighty, let's flip it over to the next page. So we should go to page 20. Page 20. Again, I'm spending a lot of time on this, guys, because your foundations in writing equations of the lines needs to be very strong. Needs to be very strong. So just to reiterate here, we can write linear equations given 2 points. All you guys need are 2 points to write the equation of a line. All right, so things that we need to know are slope. We need to know slope and y-intercept. Okay, y-intercept. Okay. We can find slope by using the slope formula, right? We know the slope formula is y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. And we can find the y-intercept, okay, by getting it into slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Where remember, b is the y-intercept of the equation y equals mx plus b. Okay, so b is the y-intercept of the equation y equals mx plus b. Okay, so let's look at an example. We're going to write the equation of the line that passes through these 2 points. So here are my 2 points. All right, well, we're going to use the information we just wrote up top. I'm going to use this information. So first thing we know is to look for the slope. And here's our formula for slope. So I'm going to label my points. x1, y1, x2, y2. So I have the slope is going to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I'll get -8 over -2, right? You guys have a calculator, use it, which simplifies to 4. So there's my slope of 4. Now we want to come up with the equation of the line. We want to come up now with the equation of the line. So y equals mx plus b. We know m, right? We just found it. So I'm going to write y equals 4x plus b. We want b. Well, guys, it's the same process we've been doing. We have points that we can use, right? Both of these are points on the line. 3, 5 is a point on the line, and so is 1, -3. You need to pick one of these points to plug in for your x and y, right? They both represent x and y. I don't like to use negatives, so I'm going to use this point. I'm going to use this point and plug in for my x and y. There's x, there's y. We need to use a point, plug it into our equation. So I'm going to write, for our equation here, we know our slope we said was 4. We know x is 3. That's from here. I'm using a point. I could have used this point, but like I said before, I don't want to use negatives. Don't want to use any negatives. It's just easier that way. And we have y is 5. So I'm going to use this information and plug it in to our equation. So we already know the slope we said was 4, so that's good. X is 3 and y is 5. And by doing this, we'll solve for b. So let's do it. For y equals mx plus b, we know y is 5, m is 4, x is 3, and we're solving for b. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract the 12 on both sides, right? There's really a plus sign here. To undo positive, we subtract. And we're left with -7 to b. And now we have it. We've got all the pieces. We can write y equals 4x minus 7 is our equation of the line. Because we're filling in y equals mx plus b. The only things we're replacing are m and b. Where m is 4 and b we just found to be -7. That's it. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So now that I just modeled that example for you guys, I want you to try exercise 3. I want you to try, example 3. You're going to try example 3 on your own. Remember, we need to find the slope. Use the steps here. Find the slope using our formula. Okay, once you have the slope, substitute the slope in and the point into our equation to get the y-intercept, which is b, and then you'll write your equation. So pause the video here and see if you get the same solution as me. So pause the video here. Alrighty, and there you have it. There is my equation. So what I did was I started off with our slope, substituted in my y2 minus y1 over my x2 minus x1. I got my slope to be 4. And I said now, what we're going to do next is pick a point. Pick a point. It doesn't matter whether you use the 0, 5 or the 2, 13. I chose to use the 0, 5. And I'm going to plug it in to my equation. So we know 5 is y. We know our slope was 4. Right? Our slope is 4, so I plugged in 4 here. X is 0. And 4 times 0 is obviously 0. And we're left with b equaling 5. So I have b equals 5. And that's it. There is my equation of the line. Okay, now I'm going to show you guys how to actually do this in the calculator. So we're going to do part B together, and it's going to be done in the calculator. So make sure you follow along closely here. Get out your calculators. Okay, so I have my calculator on, and what we want to do, we're going to follow the steps here. We're going to press Stat and then Edit. So remember the Stat button. So guys, the purpose in what we're doing right now is we're going to find the equation of a line using our graphing calculator. So remember, when I give you 2 points, and we've actually done this before. Remember I told you guys I like to line them up one underneath the other? Okay, so I'm just going to create, there is X, there is Y. Okay, and we're going to line them up one under the other. So the first step we're going to do is click Stat, Edit. So here's my Stat button. Click Enter on Edit, and we're going to enter our information into L1 and L2. Remember, if you need to clear out L1 and L2, you highlight up to the top, click Clear, Enter. Again, I'll say that again. If you want to clear out whatever is in L1 or L2, scroll up to the top, click Clear, Enter. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to type our information into L1, which are the X values. So these X values are going into L1. So I want a 1 and a 3 here, and 4 and 18 will be in L2. Okay, so I'm just writing it out, but that's what we're going to do right now. So go over to L1. I'm going to type 1, enter, 3, enter. Guys, these calculator steps are so important that you're paying attention. All right, so here is my X values of 1 and 3. We just did that here. Now I'm going to move the cursor over to the right for L2. Okay, L2 are the Y values. L2 are the Y values, and we're going to put them here. So my first Y value is 4. My second Y value is 18. The order matters. The order matters. You have to make sure this is written correctly. Sorry, this. Let me point to what I'm talking about. This needs to be written correctly. You can't be writing 1, 18, and then 3, 4 in X, Y. This would be wrong. Make sure the order is written correctly with the points lined up. Okay, so now that we have our points entered, that's good. Our next step, so we have this, we're done, good, good. Go back to Stat. So I'm going to go back to Stat, which is right there. Click on Stat. Move over to Calc. So we're going to move to the right. We're going to hit the right button. Move over to Calc. And you're going to scroll down to the number 4. So there it is. Scroll down to the number 4 for linear regression. Click Enter. Now you should see the following. Okay, you should see the following. The X list, the Y list, nothing should be in the frequency list, nothing should be here. Okay, so now that I have my X1 list, my X list, my Y list, which are entered correctly of L1 and L2, I'm going to scroll all the way down to calculate and click Enter. And there is my equation of the line. Remember I told you the calculator uses A for the slope. This is really the same thing as Y equals mx plus b. It's the same thing. So I'm going to write down this information. Write down everything you see. I have A equals 7, B equals -3. And I'm just going to substitute in like we have been. Here's A, here's B. My equation of the line is Y equals 7x minus 3. Okay, that's my equation of the line, doing this with the graphing calculator. If you guys need to rewind, replay any of these steps, please do so. Okay, but again, we just found the equation of the line using the graphing calculator. Okay, so I'm just going to come back up to the top and write and fill in our equation of the line is Y equals 7x minus 3. So I just want to answer the question for part B. The line that passes through this point is the equation Y equals 7x minus 3. Okay, make sure you have that written down. Again, really important calculator steps, guys. It's all outlined for you here. It's all outlined. All right, and that's all I have for you today. Tomorrow we will be taking a look at some more practice. Okay, some more practice with graphing. Again, you're gonna, not graphing, I'm sorry, using the calculator. So we're gonna use the calculator for all of these problems. We're gonna use the calculator for almost all of these problems. You actually can't for 3 and 4. Sorry about that. But you absolutely can use that graphing calculator for 1, 2, 5, and 6. Right? Use those points in the calculator, just as an example. You've got your x, you've got your y. This is really L1, L2, and you run that linear regression, and you'll get your equation of the line. But like I said, we'll continue with this tomorrow. We're not going to do that today. Hopefully you guys found this video helpful. Rewind if you need to. Talk to you later.